Well, greetings, Cap fans. Welcome to episode 224 of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast. Hey, I'm Rick Verbanis. I'm your host, and I've got a co host. That is Mr. Bob Lucius. Oh, Bob, we're caught in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, Bobby.
I love you too, Rick.
Why can't you see
All right.
what you're doing to me? That's all I've got to say to you, Bobby. Hey,
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Bob, welcome to the show.
Wow, a wonderful rendition. The way you sway your hips. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
we are on video, so people, they're not going to fall for my shenanigans again. Nicely done, though.
Well, why am I greeting you with suspicious minds, Bob?
Well, fall into a trap. We are telling a story tonight about the Trapster.
That's true.
Yeah.
Paste Pot Pete.
Hmm.
Can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are traveling to 1968 to get into Captain America 108. So that will certainly be a lot of fun. But before we do that, Bob, it's been a week. How you been?
Oh, woo! Busy, 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 Rick. It's the new year, right? I mean, we're deep into the 2025. All those good intentions have fallen by the wayside, and now I'm just hoping to make it to December. So, how about yourself?
Well, Bob, this particular episode, if you're listening when it comes out, it comes out on January 22nd, and I'm gonna say I tried the 22-day trial for
Yeah,
2025, and
yeah.
I'm not happy. I want to
You're
return it.
canceling. You're canceling. Yeah,
I am canceling.
yeah. You're looking for that. You're going to look for that big red cancel button now that all those sites are supposed to have. I guess the
Yeah.
government passed a regulation says they got to have the easy one click out button for online subscriptions and gym memberships now.
What? I didn't
Yeah,
hear about
yeah,
that.
yeah. The outgoing administration passed a rule that said any of the like Netflix, Hulu, any of those online subscriptions you have, as well as gym memberships, they have to have an easy out, one click. I'm out of here. Cancel. Because you know how hard it is to cancel
Yeah.
stuff. Sometimes you ever have
Yeah.
serious. I mean, I don't want to. Any of those satellite radio subscriptions are like impossible, to get out
Yeah.
without calling them,
Yeah.
and then arguing for 30 minutes about
Yeah,
how you don't
yeah.
want
Oh,
$5.
listen, I have been on a particular subscription radio one, and for years, years, years. And what would happen is like every 2 years, I would be like, I want to cancel. And then they'd send me to the other department, and then
Ah,
I'd say
yes,
I still want to cancel. Then they send me to and they'd make me an offer, right? And
yeah,
then they send me to the
yeah,
the last ditch one, and then
right,
they'd make me some ridiculous offer, and I'm
yeah,
like, all
yeah.
right, sure, for that
We'll
much, I'll
pay
stay.
you to
Yeah,
stay. Yeah,
yeah,
right. Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
Uh, that's great. I think that's really cool. Of course, the next administration will probably take credit for
Right.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they'll put a button right next to it. Same color, same words. That's to renew, right? Just to
Right.
mess with you.
Um, so, Bob, I am also excited because we are finally announcing the winner to the last contest that we had, and the contest was in honor of John Cassidy, who passed away at too young an age in 2024, and he passed away due to heart failure. And we had this tremendous uh, gift that was given to us by a listener, Seth Offenberger, and um, he said, do with it what you will. And we were like, well, you know what? Let's raise some awareness for heart disease. So we put together a GoFundMe page. We got some donations. And then we also had some people who shared posts and sent some screenshots in to get like a bonus entry. And then we, of course, all of the people who are members of our patrons, who do monthly support, they also are automatically entered. It's one of the perks of being a member, and so we're going to draw that today.
Oh, that's exciting. I know we've been building up to this for quite some time, and this is just a fantabulous prize that anybody would love to have. So I'm excited to see who wins this.
It really is. In fact, I have it right here. So it is Fallen Sun, which was written by Jeff Loeb and art by John Cassidy, and it is the fifth and final of a 5-part series after the death of Steve Rogers. And Seth went ahead and had it autographed by all these different creators who at some point had done something with Captain America. So you have on here Jeff Loeb, Lanil Francis Yu, Steve Epting, Dan Jurgens, Brett Britting, Tom Brevoort, Bob McLeod, Bob Hall, Michael Cho, Greg Land, Al Milgram, Ron Garney, Howard Chaykin, Mark Buckingham, Walt Simonson, Louise Simonson, John Beatty, and Gene Ha, who also gave a nice little remark right here. So we are going to be giving this away.
Crazy good stuff.
Yep. So I took everybody's names. So that, again, the people who made a donation to the American Heart Foundation, the people who shared and gave us screenshots, and then also all of the members, patrons of our group. And I put them into this handy dandy online little thing called wheelofnames.com. I'm going to give them a little plug because it's free to do this, right? So I was really, really excited. So I put everybody's name in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, Bob.
All right.
All right. Can you see my screen?
Sure can.
All right. So you can see we have all of these names here. And I'm going to hit spin, and we're going to see who the lucky winner is. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
And the winner is... Oh, look at that!
OMG!
Tom Boyd.
Wow.
Congratulations, Tom. And I'm going to say that was the worst opportunity for me.
Yep.
Because it's the furthest I have to ship. Because he's over in the UK.
Yeah.
And I've got to ship it out all the way over there. No, I'm happy for you, Tom.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Just be glad that one guy in Luxembourg didn't get it.
What?
Do we have anybody listening in Luxembourg? I know we've got listeners all over the world. Surely there must be someone in Luxembourg.
I know you'd be disappointed if I said we probably do, and don't call me Shirley. So there you go. Anyway, yes. So Tom, congratulations, and thank you for being a patron of the show. And if you're listening and you're not a patron of the show, it's really, really simple. All you have to do is go to buymeacoffee.com/Cap Comic Fans, and you have an easy option. In fact, I want to say a shout out to a couple of the people who have joined in the last week. We have John Waller Sewell, friend of the show, at least friend to you. I'm just a fuzzy-headed sidekick.
That's right. Yes.
Yes. John joined, and he took the very last super soldier spot. So that means John gets to be a guest once a year on the show and call the topic. And we also have two former patrons. It's been a little while, but they've returned to the fold, Bob. Dennis Rendon and Kyle Foster. So hi, Dennis.
Excellent.
Hi, Kyle. Thanks for coming back. We really do appreciate it.
We do, indeed.
In fact, if you were a former patron and you want to come back, it's not too late. We still are giving away, for everybody who was a former one and who's come back, we're giving away What Would Cap Do challenge coin stickers. Just as our way of saying thanks for coming back. And if you have not gotten your second coin, your former months do count towards earning a second coin. So, and by the way, here's what one of the stickers looks like. It's actually really large stickers.
They're like 4-inch stickers or something.
And then this is the other side. Yeah. So anyway, thanks again to all of our patrons. All right, Bob. Do we got anything else to cover before we get to today's comic?
I'm excited to jump in. We haven't been to the 60s in a while.
That's absolutely right. We've been doing some more recent stuff, or the '70s, because we have been doing the Secret Empire. But if you are a fan of the '60s and you want to get some issues that were done very close to this one, right? So this is issue 108. We actually did issue 106 back in episode 184. You could check that out, and we did issue 105 back in episode 210. So if you're a fan of this story and you like the Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and you want to hear a solo Cap book, go check out those 2 episodes.
Indeed.
So for today, we are getting into Captain America 108. And do you want to take the listeners through the cover?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have the 2 main characters of this story right on the cover with a backup character. So we've got Cap and we've got another guy, the Trapster. And we're in the middle of an action sequence on this cover. So we see Cap. He seemed to be holding onto a bar of something like this, and he's swinging his lower legs and hitting the Trapster square in the torso, knocking him backwards, which seems fortuitous because the Trapster's got some sort of gun in his hand. And there's a huge burst of what looks to be light, but we know it's the kinetic energy that's being expelled by Cap kicking him. So this is a tough fight. But what are they fighting over? Well, it appears that they're fighting over Sharon Carter, because we see her in the background, strapped down to some sort of specimen table, surrounded by a bunch of very Kirby-esque looking hardware. So something's going on here, and Cap is fighting to save Sharon, apparently, and the Trapster's involved in some way. So I'm looking forward to getting into this book.
Yeah, me too. And I'm gonna take it one step further, Bob. That machinery, it's not Kirby-esque. It's Kirby. It's legit Jack Kirby and Sid Shores
Indeed.
did the
Good
art
point.
on this cover. And 12 cents. 12 cents get you this comic back in 1968. It had a cover date of December 1968, but released in the first week of September. For the creators for this, we already talked about Jack Kirby being the penciler and Sid Shores being the inker, but writer was Stan Lee and the letterer Artie Simic. And the editor is also Stan Lee. I'm going to go ahead and grab my copy off my spinner rack.
I'm too lazy to do that, so I'm pulling out the omnibus.
Whoa!
And slapping that down in front of me. I don't normally open this, but I'm feeling lazy tonight. So
I have an omnibus that is, I mean, it's huge. It's just really, really.
Yeah.
And I like to read my comics in bed.
Oh, right.
So I lay on my back, and I have my pillows behind me, and I have my comics. And what's so funny is that I take my contacts out at night.
Yeah.
And so, and I don't bother putting on glasses, so I read my comics like this.
Yeah.
As like this close to my face as I'm laying in bed.
Yeah.
Well, do you know how hard it is to do that with a big freaking omnibus?
It'll break your nose if your wrists give out. That's for sure.
It sits on my chest.
Yeah, I can't breathe.
And I'm like, I have to like lift it to turn the page and put it back down on my chest.
Right. Yeah.
You know what James Foley would say? That's TMI, Rick. TMI.
TMI. Yeah. Megan, can you help me?
Of course I didn't. I didn't tell him what I was wearing in bed.
That is truly TMI.
All right, so we get to the opening splash page, and as you typically will get from Jack Kirby, is something that's going to grab you
Yeah.
right off the bat, right? Get you right into action. And here we see Captain America jumping towards the reader with his shield out. So you see the underneath of his shield and him holding the straps. And behind him are all of these projectiles that look fairly hard, like metal, and
Yeah.
with protrusions of pointy things and antennas and wings and all different kinds of designs. And no two look the same.
And none of these look aerodynamic in the least. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the title to this one is Bob.
The snares of the Trapster.
Turn the page, and we get four big Kirby panels. You guessed it. Cap is in one of the special workout rooms which were constructed for his training by Tony Stark, weapons director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he's going through, the motions here, and something's exploding on his shield, going around his legs. He's dodging. The indefatigable Avenger devotes every spare minute to these dangerous, devastating exercises, maneuvering as though his very life depends on each and every movement. Because it does. Bob, when you were a kid, did you have to look up indefatigable?
And I still would have to look it up.
Yeah, what's it mean?
I don't know. Probably means refusing to give up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
Unfatigable.
you know, you know what? Oh, did I say it wrong?
No.
Oh,
You said
okay.
it right. I'm just making up a word as a synonym.
Um, who said that was when we had Ron Garney on the show.
Did he?
And the only reason I remember this is because he was referencing the double page splash that I own and I have
Mm-hmm.
framed up on my wall behind me. And it was to the last issue of Volume 1. And Ron was going on about how much it was like one of his favorite drawings he ever did of Captain America. And he said because he had this indefatigable look on his face.
Huh.
And I remember hearing that. And it was like,
Wow. Good
yeah,
memory. Good memory.
missile bearing towards me from behind. Just time to duck under it. And then we turn the page, and then who's this guy? Some stranger is popping in from a steel bolted door, and he's a white guy with a.
I think that's Don Draper from Mad Men.
Right? He's
Yeah.
got a suit on and that hat,
Yeah.
and he's got this Kirby pistol, right? Like that. That
Right.
is a Kirby-esque pistol, and he's firing.
Let me just stop you right there, Rick. It's actually a Kirby pistol.
Oh, touche, Bob.
Oh yes.
And it's a Kirby pistol because of also the fire that's coming out of the muzzle when he's firing. Like
right.
that's
Yeah.
But even as the world's greatest human fighting machine hurls himself to safety, that was too close, Cap. And he fires the gun.
Ow.
We're not about to take a chance of losing you. Not now, when we need you the most. Who? Oh, one of Fury's faithful watchdogs. Look, if I had needed your help just then, it would be time for me to retire. I thought our shield training was rugged, but after watching you, ours is like a sewing bee. Okay, you didn't come here to ask for my autograph. What's on your mind? We've got a job that needs doing. Everybody has a job that needs doing. How about letting some of your agents earn their pay? And Cap has his mask down and he's taking off his shield and he starts walking away from him pretty briskly in this last panel.
He's really stretching the quads there, the hamstrings.
Yeah. Never saw you this way before, Cap. If something's been bugging you, spit it out. Maybe a man gets sick of being on call all the time. Maybe I'd like a life of my own and time on my own. Time to find the one girl in the world who means something to me. The one girl who can't be mine because of her devotion to S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh, Cap.
Welcome to the 60s.
Cap's pining. And then we turn the page, and there's a nice, I guess, a 60% page splash panel. And you see the Cap in the foreground and the agent in the background. And Cap has his mask down. He's looking kind of behind him, but he still has his back to the guy. Hold it, mister. I know how you feel, but cutting out like that won't help. Matter of fact, I'm about to do you a big favor. What kind of favor can Shield do me? What kind of favor can anyone do me? Can you bring back the years of my life that were lost, that I can never recapture? Can you bring back the partner I used to have, whose death will always be on my conscience? There's nothing that you or anybody can do for me. Look, I know you're just carrying out orders. I didn't mean to put you down. It's just that I'm going out of my mind, wondering where Sharon is, worrying about whether she's all right. That's why I'm here, Cap. She's the one I want to talk to you about. Sharon? You have news of Sharon? Why didn't you say so, man? She was delivering some important information on Project Fireball to Colonel Fury when we suddenly lost track of her. That means she's been captured. Her life's in danger. And that's the size of it. Fury figured you'd want the job of getting her back. Where is she? Who's got her? Talk! And he grabs him. Cap looks frantic.
He does. He's grabbing him by the shoulders like he's shaking him.
We don't know. All we can be sure of is that she's still alive, as long as this little homing device keeps beeping.
Beep, beep, beep.
Good. That means she's wearing its mate. Now, when I first read this,
yes,
I was like, why does Cap have a British accent? Because I thought, I read it as...
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means she's wearing it, mate. And Tom Boyd is rolling over right now.
Yes, he is. Yes.
The original's coming in strong, but she must be somewhere in the city. As long as I have the beeper, I'll find her in a matter of minutes. Sorry about the way I acted, fella. I had no call to chew you out that way. Forget it, Cap. Just find the girl. Find Sharon Carter? No power on earth will stop me. And he dives out into the city. And even as the grim-faced adventurer takes the rooftops, we cut to a scene and we see Sharon, much like on the cover, where she is pasted to a I don't know. What do you call these things? Like no one has these things in their house.
Well, not outside of the basement, but no, yeah. Right. Yeah. It's like an examination table, right?
Right.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you can buy those? You get those at a special store or something. Probably have them on Amazon.
Probably. Well, she's pasted to this examination table. They were big in the 40s too. Remember all those covers where Bucky was pasted to or tied to him or bolted to him?
Yeah, those are known as bondage covers, and there were quite a few of them. Bucky was always getting captured and tied up on the covers, and sometimes Betty Ross as well.
And then we see in the shadows the Trapster, although the cover gives it away. I mean, we know who it is. I'm only interested in Project Fireball. Tell me what I want to know, and I'll set you free. Never! My life is nothing compared to the importance of Project Fireball. I will never talk. You must. You must. No, I'm under oath to S.H.I.E.L.D. And then we turn the page, and it's a gigantic splash where the mysterious man comes out of the shadows, and it's the Trapster, Bob.
Jeez.
Now, he was formerly known as Paste Pot Pete. So a little research on Pete. His full name is Peter Petruski, and he was born in Gary in Indiana, and he first appeared way back in 1963. So he's been around for 5 years. and he um, he was known as Paste Pot Pete in Strange Tales 104. Now, in Strange Tales, he was fighting. Who was he fighting, Bob?
In Strange Tales 104.
Yeah,
Well, it
he had
would have
two
had
stories in
it only,
Strange
yeah, it
Tales.
could only be, Nick Fury or Doctor Strange.
No, it was Human Torch.
Oh, Strange Tales. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So then he
Earlier
came
issues.
back
Yeah.
in 110, and then
Uh-huh.
he appeared in Avengers 6. So this is not the first time Cap's
Yeah.
meeting him. And then Strange Tales 124. Then he was in Fantastic Four, again battling the Human Torch in 36. And then in May of 1965, he got tired of being ridiculed by the Human Torch, and I think maybe even Spider Man,
And
uh,
readers.
because he has kind of lame name, and so he changed it in Fantastic Four 38 and Journey into Mystery 116. He changed it to the Trapster,
Ooh.
and then he that was in
Uh,
1965. So here it is, 3 years later, and he appears in Captain America.
And he's had quite a few costume changes throughout the years as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And how would you describe this costume, Bob?
he looks a bit like I would think Quasimodo would look in this full page splash. He's he's a Kirby character, so he's a very blocky, big man with a very Neanderthalish sort of visage. But his uniform, it's like he's got a. Is this fuchsia, Rick? Would you agree this is fuchsia? It's like a fuchsia, uh, maybe like
Yeah.
a darker.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah, it's got a purple tint,
purple tint.
purple with some red in it.
Yeah, so he's got like a jumpsuit going on, but then he's got sort of an over uh, um, thing going over his torso and trunks that are sort of a blue, and then his cowl covers everything but his face, and that's that matching purple shade as well. So
And quite
um,
frankly, he needs something to cover his face. He
he
is
really
one. He's
should.
got an ugly puss.
Yeah, yeah, he's got a big chipped tooth as well. So it's not a like an inspiring costume here, but it is a step up from his original Paste Pot Pete costume.
With
So
the little
he's moving in the right
beret.
direction anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that was common for Jack Kirby, right? If he was a villain, he wasn't a good looking villain. Very rarely was. It was always a ugly.
Very thuggish.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he comes out of the shadows. He's holding a pistol in his right hand, which has a tube that goes to a containment on his body. And his left hand is clenched and he looks angry. Don't you see how futile it is to defy me? Not for nothing am I called the Trapster. My invincible paste gun, my many other new and totally supreme weapons make me the most powerful man in the world. Not even the combined forces of S.H.I.E.L.D. can save you. I can destroy them all if they dare attack me. So you must tell me what I want to know. You must. No agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. would betray a trust. If I cannot escape, the secret of Project Fireball will surely die with me. Dun, dun, dun. Cut back to Captain America on the next page. Again, 4 big panels. Meanwhile, a fighting mad Captain America gets closer by the second. The signals are reaching full intensity. I'm almost there. Beep. A perfect spot to hide a captive. Row upon row of empty, abandoned slum dwellings, waiting to be torn down for the proposed urban renewal project. And somewhere, in all that crumbling desolation, is the girl I love. No wonder these buildings have been so long condemned. They're so moldy, so uninhabitable, that one false step could send a man plunging through the rotting floorboards to his death below. The beeper's going wild. She's right nearby. Now more than ever before, the life of Sharon Carter is in my hands. Now, more than ever, I must not fail. That standing stairwell, all but hidden beneath this battered wall, the signal is coming from there. The entire mass of rubble is probably a deadly complex of booby traps.
Let's hope so.
But they won't stop me now. Then, with cautious skill, born of 1,000 battles of 1,000 far-flung battle fronts, the Star-Spangled Avenger pries open the creaky door, hurling his agile body to the side, and as he does so, I was right. Those automatic jets of paste almost pinned me to the spot. Only one man alive uses a weapon like that. It means that Sharon is a captive of the Trapster. But that's one paste tank that'll never help him again. And he hits it with his shield and crushes it. He must have heard me by now, so I'll have to move fast. Can't waste time testing the stairs, even if they are coated with paste. My best bet is a headlong dive, flying over them. And Cap does. He goes flying head face forward down the stairs, and he at the bottom of the stairs, there's like a little pole there, so he grabs onto that. Made it. But a split second later, it's the bar that's covered with paste, not the steps. I'm stuck here. And who comes out?
Oh, it's the Trapster.
Exactly, my dear Captain America. It's common knowledge how you feel about my lovely captive, so I suspected you would soon arrive. And as all the world well knows, no one is my equal in the setting of deadly traps. See how easily I rendered you totally helpless? And he punches him in the gut. But Cap retaliates by kicking him. Captain America helpless? Don't ever count on it. And he sends the Trapster flying back. Again, a couple more pages of 4 big panels. Now, by bracing my feet against the ceiling, I'll gain enough leverage to loosen the bar, and I did it. I'm free. You muscle-bound fool. You've gained nothing. Your hands are still stuck fast to the bar. You think that's a handicap? But I'll make it serve me as a weapon. Weapon? Where is that weapon that can compare to the greatest on Earth? My all-powerful, all-purpose paste gun.
Oh, Rick. What is it with Marvel 1960s and adhesive?
I don't know.
Yeah,
right?
you know?
Yeah. And let's not forget the 70s, too, because Adhesive X.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. So we got a bunch of Zemos with adhesive. We got Paste Pot Pete, Trapster with adhesive. When did super glue come out? Maybe this was, maybe it was the introduction of super glue that sparked all this. You don't want to mess with super glue. Stick your fingers together forever.
Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you, I've never had good luck with super glue. So every Christmas,
Yeah.
Remember I told you about the stocking where I always get like little
Right.
stuff in it. Like every Christmas, I get one of these little packages that has like 10 different tiny little super glues.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God they started doing that. Remember, like you'd
Right.
buy this one slightly
Yeah.
bigger super glue,
Right.
and then you'd use it once, and then you try to use it again, and then you can't.
Try to like stick a pin in it, and then it'd squirt out all over your thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I'm like, I got on my fingers.
Nice. Yeah. It makes sense now.
One quick drying stream of paste stuck to the wall and managed to pull it down by the force of its own adhesion. But I dare not let it throw me. And it fell to the ground, Bob.
Whoa.
I could still use his bar to smash away the debris. His pace doesn't matter. My life doesn't matter. All that matters is saving Sharon. No need to finish you off at once, you gaudily costumed clown. First, I'll let you roam these premises at will, so that you may appreciate the brilliance of my many traps. He's gone. His voice could be coming from anywhere. What's this? The bar is dropping from my hands. Did he deliberately make a weak solution, or is there more to this than meets the eye? The floor beneath me, it's buckling. I was standing right over a trap door. Exactly, you masked fool. This is just as I planned it. Now I'm gonna pause here for just a second. So, as a kid, I would have gotten into this story so big, right?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't there something cool about a house with traps,
Yeah, of course.
right? I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
like trap
And trap doors.
doors
Yeah, right.
and hidden things and
Yeah. I always like
uh,
those staircases that like whoop,
yeah,
they
you
became like a
slide
slide.
down.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, or the little daggers that would come out, or
Yep.
like it was something cool. Like that's why the very first Raiders of the Lost Ark, when he was going in and all dealing with all those traps, like it
Right.
captured every kid and kid at heart, really.
Right.
You
Right.
know, I remember early on, one of the first Daredevil comics that I read was written by Denny O'Neil, and it was really early art by David Mazzucchelli. And it was issue 208. And on the cover, it was Daredevil in front of looked like this haunted mansion, and there were
Mm-hmm.
like these spears being thrown at him. And when you go inside, he basically, and oh, by the way, no, it wasn't written by Denny O'Neil. It was written by Harlan Ellison.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the whole thing was him going through this house, defeating one trap after another trap, and it
Yeah.
just sucked me in. I was like, wow, I mean, when you're a kid, this is cool, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You can play that in the backyard.
And by the way, Cap would not have fallen through that trap door. I
No,
mean,
he'd
we've
be.
all seen
Yeah.
he's capable of stopping. I mean,
Yeah.
at least if Mark Grunwald wrote him in,
The Bloodstone Hunt one.
yes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't there like a trap door that he was like, nope, I'm good.
Yep.
Luckily for you, it was only a short drop, right onto that paste covered turntable which is holding you fast. And now, with the flick of a switch. But why should I go on talking? I'll leave you to enjoy your endless little spin around. And Cap, he's stuck to the table and he's just spinning and spinning and spinning.
Oh my God! You ever do that in the playground, Rick?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's not good for you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. How many kids can you throw off?
that's
Let's spin it
exactly
faster and faster.
right.
And as soon as I tire of the game, I have only to increase the velocity. No, you can't. You mustn't. It'll certain to kill him. What will you gain by all this? Surely you can guess. By placing the man you love in fatal jeopardy, I'm certain to gain the information I want from you. The choice is yours. If Captain America falls, it's because you didn't choose to save him. I can't. I can't. I can't betray my trust, even for him. No, then perhaps this will make your chain. What? The control circuit. It's blown apart. It is impossible. I double checked every inch of wiring myself, and nobody else could have had a chance to tamper with it. Well, I'll worry about that later. Right now, I'd better check on Captain America. And he goes running down the hall. He's too dangerous to take for granted. I have to make certain that he's still completely helpless. He opens up the door. The paste, it must have been diluted. It didn't hold him. He's not on the turntable. But Cap was hidden behind the door, Bob.
Oh my gosh, you could see him crouching. I can't tell you. I've read this 3 times already today, and this is the first time I've noticed him crouching behind the door.
Really?
Seriously. Yeah.
Well, don't worry about it. I didn't go far. And he slams the door.
And it makes a noise. Slam. So
And
literal.
then we have a big, I'd say 60% one panel splash. It is impossible. My pace has never failed. Ugh. There's always a first time. Now, where's the girl? Answer me, you human jackal. Hands off that gun. You've already had your chance. And he punches him. Have to keep pulling my punches. He can't talk if he's hurt. But this one time, Cap's careful concern proves to be his undoing. Now it's my turn. I always knew you weren't as good as your rep. Don't touch that gun, mister. I warn you, don't try it. Your warning days are over, big man. Don't count on it. And he throws the shield and it cuts the cord to the gun. No! You severed my paste tube. Now I can't use it. You catch on quick, fella.
He severed his paste tube, Rick.
Yeah.
Said no villain ever.
Now
Right? Oh my gosh.
hold it right there. The only reason I went easy on you is because of Sharon, and he and the shield comes back, hits him in the Pete in the back.
Sping! Oh.
But now the gloves are off. If I don't find her within the next 2 minutes, I promise you, you'll wish I had. And with his foot, the Trapster clicks something. You're still too much of a soft hearted fool. You should have finished me while you had the chance. A transparent tube sliding over me from above. It's another sudden trap. And for you, perhaps the final one. Even as you're hopelessly caught inside, you'll see how fast the tube fills up with enough paste to trap you forever. Thus, the plexiglass tube is no longer needed, so I raise it once again while my totally helpless victim stands before me. No one is totally helpless while he lives. Exactly what I meant, you fool. And now, as you face your final moments of life, I'll tell you the one thing that will make your defeat more ignoble than ever. I'll tell you who's paying me to sabotage Project Fireball. His name is the Red Skull.
Oh my.
Then he's still alive. He lives, but you'll never see him again. Not after this chemi spray causes the paste to tighten. Why do you keep struggling? Don't you realize that no one can. Wait! The paste, it's cracking, starting to fall apart in crumbling chunks. No, it can't be. Can't it? Maybe someone's been spiking your chemicals. It's not possible. No one has been here except the girl, and she's my captive. You didn't think I'd forget that, did you? It's the one thought that kept me going, that keeps me going. And as he breaks through, he hits him with the shield and punches him, uppercut, with his fist, and then hits him again with the shield. That that won't ever let me stop until the Trapster is beaten, and he pummels him with a right cross, sending him back. Perfect. His own pace can hold him there, while I take this place apart, brick by brick, if I must, until I find Sharon Carter. Seconds later, Sharon! So she doesn't answer. And then, as he gets up closer to her, Captain America, I have been waiting for you. This is a recording. It's not Sharon. It's a perfectly constructed SHIELD LMD, a life model decoy. Why did Cap name it twice?
Yeah, thanks for explaining the acronym, Cap.
If he was going to say a life model decoy, why didn't he just start with that?
Right, yeah.
But if this isn't she, then where? Right here, my darling. The LMD was programmed to act and sound exactly as I would. But with the mission completed, it's no longer pretending to be human. You've been there all this time? It was part of the plan, Steve. I used Tony Stark's chemical tubes to dilute the Trapster's paste supply. Then that's why I was able to free myself. But if you weren't really captured, then why was I sent for? It had to be you. Even with my help, no one else could have beaten him so thoroughly, or goaded him into revealing the name of the Red Skull. Then that was the name of the game. Your mission, find the Spy Master. So now, S.H.I.E.L.D. can Sharon, the Trapster, he's gone. We should have guessed he'd carry his own paste solvent with him. I suppose we should go after him, but... And she wraps her, arms around him tighter and her face closer to his. But there's always tomorrow, my darling. The end.
Well, there you have it. There you have it, folks.
Steve's like, yeah, Trapster can wait.
I'm off the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Got some other things to do. By the way, can we take this life model decoy with us? So, yeah.
What'd you have in mind there,
It's
Bob?
it's programmed to act and speak just like a Sharon. So,
Oh,
the Trapster.
never.
Yeah. Kirby and Lee
That
were
thought never crossed my mind.
did
But
Kirby and Lee are way ahead of their time. So
I don't know. It was the swinging '60s.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Bob. Well, before we get into favorite panel, what'd you think of the story?
Oh well, it's this is the like a quintessential 1960s Cap story, right? We got the pining for Sharon. We got the reflecting on Bucky and the years lost
Yeah.
in the ice, right? I mean, got that whole package. And then we've got some
Mm-hmm.
great action. We've got some chunky thug looking terrorists. It's got everything and a lot of action, a lot of fighting, a lot of action. So, it's a fun story. Like you said, as a young kid picking this up, oh, you would have eaten this up, right?
Oh yeah,
And
totally.
then you go out in the backyard and with your friends and you reenact all this. So it's classic stuff.
It really is. Yeah, good stuff. So, do you have a favorite panel?
Well, I do. I'm going to go with page 4, and it's
Hold
that
on.
half-page splash with
Oh,
Steve Rogers with his cowl off.
that was mine. That was my
Was it
favorite panel,
really?
Bob. It really
Was it?
was. Yeah,
That's a great rendition of Steve Rogers'
it
face.
is. It really
And
is.
it's he's in shadow a little bit, so it's not colored. It's just sort of a bluish and black. But I also love on the wall. He's got a bunch of Nazi souvenirs hanging up. I don't know if you noticed
Yeah,
that.
no, that was the whole reason why I was picking it too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's neat. And then he's like arguing with Don Draper. So great 60s fashion, men's fashion in that panel. So it's great all around. You got a backup, Rick?
No, no, I don't, Bob.
Hmm.
Uh, do do do. All right. I guess I have to go with the opening splash. Right. Got a big battle scene going on. Cap in action. You've got the quintessential Jack Kirby, arms straight out, legs straight out, looking in an X kind of formation. You got a whole bunch of Kirby doohickeys all around him. Yeah, I'll go with that one.
How do you feel about that stripe placement, Rick?
I don't like it at all, Bob. It's it's the middle of the belt buckle.
It's just messing you up, isn't it?
It really is.
It's like he hasn't even decided. It's neither red nor white.
Yeah. Like he doesn't even care.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
it's
doesn't even
all
care.
over the map there. So
Sometimes when I see that, I try to fool myself into thinking, well, he's twisting his torso, so the
right, yeah,
stripe kind of moves a little bit,
right,
but he's straight dead on here.
yeah.
So
He's like an arrow there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's. I want to get that out of your mind. Do you have anything that's T-shirt worthy?
Oh, I sure do, Bob. I'm going to go with page 6, and I'm going to go with that big gigantic splash of the Trapster coming out of the shadows.
Wow.
That we don't have enough villains
The
on
radical choice. Yeah, you're right.
our t-shirts, right?
Yeah.
You've made that point before, and I
Yeah.
take it to heart, Bob. When you talk,
appreciate that.
I listen, Bob.
Thank you.
And so that I think would be a really good shirt of the Trapster because I would be a 1 of 1.
One of one. Yes, a 1 of 1. Yes.
How about you, Bob? What are you putting on a t-shirt?
I wrestled with this one, Rick, because there's so many so many to choose from, but I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna flip the script on myself because I had one picked, but I'm gonna change it here at the last minute, and I'm gonna go with that very last panel in the story on page 20, where when they're hugging and kissing, and we'll go after the Trapster another day. Like I'm a romantic at heart, and like we don't have enough T-shirts of Steve and Sharon kissing, so I'm going with that.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
What was your original that you went?
Well, it
decided
was
to
on
change your
page
mind?
7. It was the lower right one on page 7 where Cap's got the beeper and it's going off because he's getting closer to Sharon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, the beeper's going wild. She's right nearby.
I
Uh,
must not fail.
I must not fail. And I love that one because I'm thinking to myself, man, that beeper's giving away your position, Steve.
Oh, that's true.
It's a beep, beep, beep. I mean, no wonder
Yeah,
the Trapster knew he was there.
that's true.
So,
What's going in your time capsule?
oh, you gotta go with a little discussion on pages 3 and 4 with Cap complaining about Sharon and Bucky and his lost time in the
Seriously?
ice.
Seriously,
Yeah,
dude?
yeah.
Okay. Just anything else you
How 60s is that, right?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So, yeah. Anyway, and you?
Well, I'll pivot once again.
Right.
Geez Louise.
Right. This is why I have my written notes here, and I always have a primary in the backup ready to go.
Well, Bob, some of us were
Preparation.
busy preparing other things for the show, such as the spinning wheel of names. And,
Preparation prevents poor performance. That's what they always say. So.
Yeah, I was looking up all the other stuff.
Okay,
yeah. Right.
fair enough. Yeah.
I'm going to go with page 3, first panel,
mm-hmm.
which is the guy coming from around the door holding that gun, which is very Kirby. And with the muzzle, the design, the guy in the suit and the hat, it has a 60s look about it.
It does. It does.
You could put that panel in a Fantastic Four comic,
yep,
and it would fit.
Yep.
You could put that in any Kirby comic in the 60s, and
no, you're right. You're right. Man, it was great. I miss that. Not that I lived that, but I mean that sort of that dress style. Guys dressing up and looking good, professional. I'm too lazy to do that, but
as you say in your T-shirt and me in my hoodie.
I know, right? Yeah. And I'm like, well, I wore jeans. My wife was like, you can't wear those jeans; they have holes in your ass. So I'm like, but nobody's in my office. You're like, but what do I care? She's like, but what if like somebody does come in? So I shouldn't be talking about wearing a sport coat in a nice hat.
Yeah.
So, but
hey, speaking of T-shirts, Bob. So I'm finally wearing a T-shirt my daughter gave me for Christmas.
Yeah.
So now I'm wearing my 2 favorite Captain America logos. Here's the red, white, and blue one.
Right.
That's on my hoodie, and then here is.
Oh,
the Ron Garney one.
That's very nice.
Right?
Yeah.
From the 90s.
It's a nice shirt.
It is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the little cap shield, and then I like the colors. Yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
How many other people right now are wearing 2 different Captain America logos? This guy right
that's
here.
That's it.
Bob.
You're setting the standard. Like, yeah. Good for you. Good for you.
Bob, next episode, we are actually going to the year 2017. Sam Wilson's kind of big right now, right? He had his new comic that launched. He's got a new movie coming up. And so maybe we should explore this really cool one-shot story. It was on your bucket list, Bob, and
2 years running.
Yes, and we're gonna check it off, and that is
all right.
Captain America Generations One Shot.
Ooh, I love that book.
It's got Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson, and the story takes place in World War II. What?
Yeah.
How is Sam Wilson in World War II?
It's crazy.
Join next episode for a panel by panel dramatic reenactment of Generations One Shot.
Yes. It's going to be a great read. Folks are going to enjoy it.
All right, Bob. Well, as always, it has been so much fun wrapping Cap with you.
It has. I cannot wait for next week for many reasons, but among them, to spend time with you.
Aw, well, that's very sweet. And listeners, that's Bob Lucius for you. And I'm Rick Verbanis. And if you don't mind, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you're on YouTube, please Give us a thumbs up. If you are on Facebook, give us a comment. If you're on Apple, give us a 5-star review. We really do appreciate it. And as always, thank you for listening to another episode of the Captain America Comic Book Fans Podcast.